Hey, call. Hey, can you let me know if you can hear me? I'm doing this a different way. So let me know in the comments real quick, and then I'll get started with this. I'm looking for some comments here. Sorry about the delay. Just want to make sure that you can hear me on this microphone and that everything is clean. I'm gonna have to cut this part out. As soon as I get a thumbs up, I'll go and tell you what I'm doing this morning. Check, check. Okay, I'm gonna pretend like a little low. Okay, I'll try to speak up a little bit. Okay, so hard to hear myself. Okay, so I am at a television studio in around the Hendersonville area. I can't say where I'm at because I don't want to get in trouble, and I don't want to get the people who hired me in trouble. But I will tell you, I'm just going to be real generic, and I'm going to tell you that this is a television show that airs every week. It's a great television show, and the production value is great. I've been really impressed. I came from, in the last 5 years, came from a church who, you know, every service we tried to run it like like it was a production, and sometimes we did well. Sometimes things would come apart a little bit, but nobody would know. But anyway, I got hired to do this show, and do in front of house, and it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's a little intimidating when you when you realize that there's a lot of people that are watching the show, but it's a little comforting to know that I'm not responsible for the audio that they're going to hear on the broadcast. That is actually done later. So, okay, so forgive me for being a little bit vague of what show I'm at. Maybe you can text me, but I'll tell you what we've got. I'm just going to run you down what we're the board and like maybe Monitor World and stuff like that. And there's a band. The band is Kelly Back, Trey Corley, Tyler Summers on sax, Lori Sykes, and this week we've got Dan Needham. All-star cast of musicians. Okay, I'm gonna go back to check the comments here. Okay, all right, cool, awesome. Okay, so I'm at this show, and this is the board. It is a Studer, which is big in the broadcast world. Studer Vista 5. See how I revealed that production. So anyway, this is the board, and it's really a really cool board. So with the music playing, make sure I'll check the comments. Make sure you can hear me. So on this board, I'm doing front of house, and so I get. Let's see. I'll take you to Monitor World a little bit, and you'll understand a little bit more. But I can make things land anywhere on this board that I want to. So the logic for me is to make things land in a place that I won't have to think about it. I always talk about disconnecting your right brain from your left brain. Well, my whole challenge in doing the show is making sure that if I see somebody walking up with a handheld mic, I know exactly where it is. And also, there's a lot of moving parts because there's a host, and the host will, like the person hosting the show will throw to the host, and that person has to be heard in the audience over the band. So that's a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so I'm going to Monitor World right now. Maybe a little bit quieter. But if you're interested in knowing when the show airs, email me, Kevin@MixCoach.com. I'll tell you when the show airs. Okay, so here we are in Monitor World. Is that? I'll give people a sneak peek at this. This is a Stonecraft VI 7000. So that's for ear monitors, floor wedges, things like that. So he actually gets the audio first, and then he sets the gain on the mic pre's, and then I get that. And I've got a digital compensation to where if I feel like it's too hot for my gain staging, I can track it down a little bit. So here's a bunch of in-ears and stuff. I mean, these guys back here are really They really do the lion's share of the work because they're micing people up. They're making sure that the lapel mics are in the right place. Um, Little things like this that that I don't pay attention to being in the studio, and that is if the person is on the couch looking to the left, you don't want to put the mic on this side over here. If they're looking over here, you want them to be here. They have to think about that stuff all the time, which I think is really cool. Um, let's see. I wish I could see comments here, but anyway, so they do the lion's share of the work because they're putting the mics on, they're hiding the cables, they're making sure that the person has the right mic on, they're making sure that the singer is holding the right mic so that the sound check will have been worth it. So our schedule is I'm actually here probably about 3 hours early because I wanted to, I'm still learning it. I'm a nerd enough to know that I want to make sure that I do it right. And then, so making sure I'm not showing anything I'm not supposed to in the background. I hate to be so cryptic about all this stuff, but I just don't want to get anybody in trouble. Let's see. So, schedule. So the band is rehearsing now. They show up it's natural. So they show up at 10 and they rehearse until lunch. And then at 1, the whole crew is here. At that point, there's a live broadcast that to YouTube only. And then I don't have anything to do with that. That's just me, trying to map out things on the board that I need to. But upstairs, they run all the microphones for the live broadcast. Then they'll do a few bumpers, like little pickup things, like introducing the show, maybe. And then, as the day goes on, usually around 3 o'clock, the artist will show up and they'll do a sound check, make sure that their monitors are right. And I'll get my sound check and everything. And then we'll do tech rehearsals, which the tech rehearsal has to do with Trey, making sure that the bumper music, this is what's so fascinating, and it makes me such a nerd, I think. The bumper music is very well rehearsed. They started at a certain time, they go through the break, and then when they come back, there is a certain amount to where when they end the song, that's when the host of the show or the star of the show, he talks. And that's when I push the wireless mic up because wireless mics in a band usually don't mix very well, or usually the band wins, right? So they rehearse all that stuff. It's so well documented and thought out. So they do camera, like they even have mapped out which cameras go to what in what section, to where, they'll say, hey, we're going to do, coming back from this break, we're going to do a 2-4-7-2 on the band. And it's camera 2, camera 4, camera 7, camera 2, and then back to the host. I mean, all that stuff is so well mapped out. I'm just like, I'm in hog heaven here. So they do that, and then I see they rehearse all of those transitions in and out, and then they record all that stuff. Is what is the cool thing, just in case, like say a band member, let's say probably couldn't do it on drums or anything, but let's just say the bass guitar missed a note during the show. Well, they've got the rehearsal that they can actually pull from and do that. Or here's another example. If the guitar player has 2 parts, he'll play the second part during the rehearsal sometimes, and then play the main part during the show, and then they'll take the part during the rehearsal and drop it in and make the mix good. So that's cool. So everything's so well rehearsed, and then we go live, and basically we cut it live to tape. They do a live mix upstairs. I do a live mix for the house. And then after the show, we record for an hour straight. And most often, the musical guest is at the end. We'll set up for them. We'll move some lights around and stuff like that. And then about 8:30, we're done. Then we go next door and mix it, and that's fascinating too. Maybe I can do that on a different day. Sorry about the volume. Okay, I'm gonna walk back up to the front of the house, and then I'll take some questions if you have them. Okay? So let me make sure here. Making sure. See, you think you're supposed to see? I'm really trying to keep people out of trouble, including myself. I'd hate to get this job and then screw it up. Who did the Facebook Live thing? Okay, I'm good. Pop your questions in if you have them, and if you don't have any nerdy questions, I will be I'll be busy doing some other stuff today anyway. So, okay. So I'll leave that camera just like that, and I'm going to look at the comments. Okay. Yeah. So good morning. Paul Tisdale says it's a little low, but you can hear the music playing. You can hear me? Good. Okay. Paul, good stuff. Glad for you. Yeah, this is a lot of fun, man. It is a lot of fun. Being a studio guy mostly, I always, kind of steer clear of this stuff just because there's so much adrenaline involved. You screw up, and like if you do a great job at this, nobody knows you're there. And if you do a terrible job, everybody wants to know your name. But I don't know. I guess in my older age, I want more adrenaline in my life. So I started doing some more live stuff, and I'm having a ball. And also, another thing that I'm trying to work out too is a theatrical thing. I've got some friends that I'm going to interview. I've got some friends that I will be interviewing soon who've done a lot of theater stuff. And that is an art form in itself, from how you hide the mics, because on a show like this, you can just put a mic on somebody's lapel and everybody's used to seeing a lapel mic. They just know how but when you're acting on a stage, there's a ton of costume changes, and you have to put the mic in a position that's either not going to get destroyed by changing costumes. And if you put it on the costume, you have to take it off in time. Yeah. And you have to hide the mics. Like a lot of times in the Broadway stuff, you hide the mic in the hairline. So you might see, if you look close at Hamilton, you see mics in people's hair, and sometimes you'll see them coming around their ear like this. But even those, they don't buy them off the shelf. They custom make those things. So anyway, I'm gonna be interviewing a friend of mine who does quite a bit of that, and I'm very fascinated by that stuff. As you guys know, I'm very much a student, and I am a sponge when it comes to learning new stuff like this. It kind of keeps me excited. So, okay, it doesn't look like there's a ton of questions, so I'll probably leave it at this, and I've got another call tomorrow with my members at 11, and it may be something like this. So perhaps with the members, I can do more of a Q&A sort of thing if you have them. Hey, Dynamite, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I don't know where that is, man, but welcome. Thanks for coming today. Yeah, Tony, I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. So I guess with that, I'm going to wrap it up and start labeling this board a little bit more. I can tell you more details if you want to know them. Just leave them in the comments. I'll try to get to them. Okay. So, okay. I guess for now, I will let you go. Thanks for coming this morning, and I will see you sometime very soon. Okay.